In the wake of the 2008 general elections in the United States, a young Democrat from Illinois called Barack Obama won that election, creating a buzz around the world. But one of the factors that led to Obama's win was his wife, Michelle Obama, a black woman who traversed that country campaigning for Obama, putting a face to his campaign, and what was termed as one of the important pillars of that campaign, leading to that election and that historic win by Barack Obama. Welcome to Let's Talk Love. The man next to me is Professor Herman Manyora, our resident president here, and on the streets we call him Dr. Love. And bringing you back closer home in the recently concluded general elections here in Kenya, women like Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua's wife, women like the president's wife, Rachel, have been on the forefront of the media, of public discussions around the election. And the question is the adage that behind every successful man, there is a woman. Is it as true as it seems, especially today in the age of progression and new politics, where you might hear a young person saying that they do not intend to go into marriage because they see it as a hurdle to their career, a hurdle to ambition, a hurdle to rising to power as these powerful men I have mentioned in this introduction. And the question I'm putting to Prof today is marriage an asset to ambition, or is it a hurdle? Is it something in the way of a man trying to rise to ambition and power? Prof.
I think you put it so well, then you ask a question that contradicts what you have said. Because you have said...
Then educate me.
They say women, a man with a good wife is on his way to success. Equally, a woman with a good husband is on her way to success.
But that notion seems to be challenged today.
However success is defined. Leave alone people who allow small things to get to their head. So if you are a woman happily married, with your first degree. Then somewhere you do a master's and you begin to grow some horns. Then by the time you do a PhD and some university gives you some cheap teaching job, you think now the world is under your feet. Those are people who are not serious. Any serious person will take whatever success within their stride. So if you are a married man and the power comes, or glory comes, success comes, in your career, in politics, in business, that should be something to be celebrated as a family, not stand in the way of family. So if you are a woman, you started in a humble way, now you are doing well. The family should be happy that the wife is doing, the woman in the family is doing well. I know many people allow small successes to go to their head. And in that context, you may therefore begin to see your partner as a hindrance, as a stumbling block. But if there's love between you, what is it you can do when you're married? I am trying to look for one thing I can't see. You can become the president and still you'll be married. First lady, first man. What is the big problem? What is this you can't do just because you are married? Unless you want to be a criminal, you are a thug, you are a gangster, and you think your wife will give you away when you come back at night with guns. But any decent job, your partner should be part of the success. Yeah.
Right, and Prof, let me take off in a quite controversial tangent on this discussion, because going back to the same thing, the political idea and the election that just concluded, there was one of our candidates, a female candidate, who the opponents were coming out to attack on the basis that she's not married.
Again, that's common. Stereotypes, age-old cultural beliefs and practices, biases, they are normal. Women have had to deal with all these things. Even if those who want just become MCA. People have said if you want to run for office, they have called you a prostitute, they have called you a divorcee, they have called you a cheap woman, they have said you are sleeping with everybody. That's normal. So if you are going into politics as a woman, you must be prepared to hear all those things. But they are dying slowly by slowly. And I only urge women in power and in leadership not to do things that sort of confirm
these biases,
cultural biases and stereotypes. So if you are a woman who is married, no, you are carrying a lot of responsibility to prove people wrong, to show that a woman can be a member of parliament without allowing herself to go down. You know, because people believe once you are a woman MP, you will sleep with everybody. That is not the case.
No?
It's not the case.
People also believe that a lot of women who rise to power
do so through
somehow
sexual favors.
Yes, or without
Those are
marriage.
stereotypes.
Without marriage.
I work at the university, and I'm telling you, I've heard many things. I even laugh.
Yeah?
There are people who believe as a university student, a girl cannot graduate without sleeping with lecturers. So, and I was arguing with somebody. He was so convinced. I felt like slapping. I asked him, in my faculty, where I teach, Faculty of Arts, to graduate, you must do 44 units, 44 courses.
That's a lot.
44 course units from first year to fourth year for you to get a degree. Surely. I may teach 2-3 units.
You can't sleep
so
through.
Say, at the very least, you'll be taught by about 30 people. Will you sleep
with 30
people? A majority of the teachers are male. So are you saying for you to graduate as a woman, you'll have to sleep with 30, 28 lecturers? That's cheapness. But those things persist. They are there. They're just stereotypes. There's no truth in that. When you are there, you can't even believe what people are saying. So equally, there are many women in leadership. They are mothers. They carry themselves with honor and dignity. They are wives carrying themselves. They come home at midnight, at 2 in the morning. But they have not done anything wrong. It's in the line of duty. They are leaders. But again, there are bad apples. That the ones I'm discouraging, because then we want you, when you are a leader, to be a role model to our girls.
On that issue you're talking about, one of the careers that we can use as a benchmark to look at the hurdles, at how hard it is for a woman to rise, is Martha Karua's.
Yes.
Yes, I'll just go ahead and mention the name, because she's been called names. She's been accused of all these things about her family, about her husband, even by people who have no idea who she is. Yet she's gotten to what we can call the very top. What does it take?
But let's start by the fact that she's a divorcee, finally a widow.
Yes.
Was she the first divorcee?
No.
In the world?
No.
In Kenya?
Not even in the country.
In Kirinyaga?
Not in politics.
Were all people who are divorced in politics, was the divorce all a product of women being in politics?
Nope.
That's number one. Number two, you can go far. Whether you are a married woman, whether you are a divorcee, whether you are a widow, you can still go far. It depends on your determination and your hard work and your ambition. Granted, society must create some space, remove some barriers, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But then Mother Karua and a few others, Charity Ngilu, she's been a widow for a long time. They have done great things.
They have.
The greatest, the only woman, Loro, in this country, and I think it's part of the world, Wangari Maathai, divorced many years ago.
Doesn't it contradict your point, though, the more you give these examples?
No.
You see, those women, they are single.
Yes. I'm answering your question. I'm saying no situation should confine you somewhere. Because you're an orphan. Mm-hmm. You can't throw your hands up because my parents are dead.
Say I'm dead.
This is the end of me.
No.
But there will be situations, there will be difficulties because you're an orphan. A lot of those depends on your determination to fight. If it was difficult to continue in your marriage and you are to divorce, the divorcee status shouldn't make you, as a man or a woman, just go down and cry and throw your hands in the air and say, now this is the end of me. No, that's what I'm trying to say, the point I'm making. It doesn't contradict the point I made earlier.
I see it now.
Your achievement should make you think you are no longer tenable, you are no longer marriage material, if you may use that.
Mm-hmm.
That you can no longer live with a man just because you have had a PhD, because you are a professor, because you are now a medical doctor, because you are a member of parliament. Those are two different things. On the one hand, I'm saying, women of substance do not allow their achievements to compromise their marriage.
And vice versa.
And I'm also saying that after the fact, if the fact is that you are a widow,
yes,
you've lost your husband, or you are a divorcee. The fact that you are a divorcee or a widow shouldn't stand in your way of achieving what you want to achieve. There's nothing, there's no contradiction there.
I see it now, Prof. But then also it doesn't help dictate how people see you, because even if these people have risen above these issues you've well articulated, the public, the Kenyan public, always seems so keen to be harsh on our women leaders, on some of our brightest minds.
It's true.
On the basis of they are in marriage or they are out of it.
These are not things that
we judge them on that pedestal. Why do we?
These are things that are not been there for 10 years or 20 or 100. These are age-long things. They can't disappear in a day. People have held women in a certain way, in a certain light. In my language, there's no word for adultery in reference to a man.
No?
No.
It's only for women?
You have it in your language?
No, I don't think so. No. It's only...
You have it in your language? Word for adultery? For a man? It's not expected that a man will... There's anything wrong with a man.
It's not considered wrong.
Yeah. So those are things we are now dealing with.
We are contending with them.
Things that have taken so long and have been entrenched in our culture, in our language, and in many things, in our systems, in our thought system, in our political systems. You don't just dismantle them one day. But we have done a lot. Today a woman can contest 30, 40 years ago. Talk to women who, I think some of them must be very old now, but they are there. Go and talk to Phoebe Asio.
Phoebe Asio.
I don't know whether Grace Okot is there.
The writer?
Yeah, she was MP for some times. Grace Ogot, Grace Onyango. I don't know that Grace Ogot is there, but I don't know that Grace Onyango is still alive. Phoebe Asio, I think, is still alive. Chelagati Mutai, I think she died or something. I'm not very sure.
Yeah.
Talk to those women who contested and won in those early years, or even just ran without winning. It was not a laughing matter. And because of the things you are saying now, you'll be told, you have to be very strong. Even your husband has to be very strong. The things he will be told. What kind of man are you? So, yes. But the world is moving.
It is.
The changes. The world is changing. Today our daughters can rise to the highest level. And we only ask society not to burden our girls and our daughters and our women with all these stereotypes and cultural biases, because they have been overtaken by time. But we also ask the same girls to know, when you are sent to power, eyes are on you, more than they are on a woman who is powerful elsewhere, who is not powerful like you.
Yeah. Okay.
More than they are on a man
on the same
level. It is your responsibility. Actually, it's a very historical challenge that you must behave your way as an elected leader, as an MP, as a governor.
Yes.
In a manner to end those stereotypes, those cultural biases, in a manner that encourages younger women than you to aspire to be like you and above. So, it is much more demanding on a woman in leadership. And I ask women in leaders in this country to always conduct themselves knowing the sort of restraint required of them is not expected of other leaders. And they are not doing it for themselves. They are not doing it for their husbands, for their children. They are doing it for all the young girls in this country.
Well said.
Yes.
Because, Prof, what you're saying has already manifested itself. We saw when current Kirinyaga governor was accused of graft, the amount of public attacks and on her, the scrutiny the media put on her was way more detailed and bigger than that put on her male counterparts who have been accused even of bigger scandals in that government.
So we must not put women under undue
scrutiny.
Disadvantage and scrutiny. But we must also ask our women, show that a woman can be a better leader. If you are given public resources, manage public resources in a way that can show a woman mkono yake si mrefu kama wanaume.
Yeah.
You'll be doing something to your women folk. Because then you'll be telling society, please, leta kina mama kwa uongozi. You'll benefit.
The idea that women are more moral and more honest and have better integrity, it is? Than men?
Other things remaining equal.
Yeah.
I would trust a woman more than I would trust a man with the public resources.
Yet,
Other things remaining equal.
yes.
We saw Stella, what was her name in the central bank? Oh, I've forgotten her name. Oh God, such a wonderful lady. She said, no, I'm not going to do these things. And she knew she was going to pay for it. Jacinta Mwatela.
What did she do?
She stood against bad practice at the central bank. She was forced to do certain things and she said no. And she lost her job. Kenyans are also others. She tried to be a governor. I don't know why this people didn't give her. Yeah. But a woman, other things remaining equal, can be trusted with public resources more than a man.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's...
You see, the reason is not even difficult to see.
It's not?
Yeah. They are the custodians of life.
Right from when it starts.
Yeah, they have the instinct of survival. They know the meaning of life more than all of us know, more than the male know. They are the ones who carry life in them 9 months. So they are likely to be more careful with issues that affect mankind, society, than with men. They are likely to be less reckless. And in any case, many of these things that people steal, most of the money people make, they make it to go and do things that women can't do, don't actually normally do. Marry more wives, push small girls, all sort of things that people do with the money they have stolen. By and large, women are not attracted by those things as much as men are.
They're not barbarians like that. But Prof...
Again, you see, man is always thinking that he's a conqueror. And the power and glory to a man is very important.
It
I
is.
don't think in the makeup and DNA of a woman, that's how she sees life. So the chances of a man stealing, to live in a better place, to drive a better car, to have a better bank balance, and show off in the village, it's rarely with the women. No? It's not in their genetic makeup. So the motivation to steal is less for a woman. And it's a global thing.
Not just here.
Yeah, no, it's a global thing.
So are you saying we could see the light of day when the things like the Kenya's very controversial 2/3 gender rule could be passed?
There's a way in which I don't have much support for it.
No, it's not.
It doesn't
practical.
make much sense to me.
It's affirmative action.
No, I don't look at life in that way. I say Kenya is a third world country. And I say, where we are now, what we want is the best man and woman for every available opportunity.
Best man
for every
woman.
task, for every job. That's where the country is. We don't have the luxury of packing people in places because they are women, because they come from this region or this tribe, regional balance, face of Kenya. I don't support those kind of nonsense. I want the best man. If the best man is from Turkana, so be it. If the best woman, if the best person for the job is a woman, so be it. That's what I support. In order for that to be realized, I'm a firm believer in removing of all hurdles that face women. There should be no hurdle facing women from the time they are born so that they may actualize their best.
No one gets a head start.
So instead of wasting time on 2/3 and on the face of Kenya, let us make sure there are no hurdles in the way for a woman. And that's why I support Moi more than many people support Moi.
Moi was aware of that?
People do not appreciate what Moi did. It is Moi who put the education of the girl child. Even the people who are demonizing Moi should be ashamed, because it is Moi who went on a spree, if I may use that word, of converting day schools into boarding schools for girls. Beginning with Pangani, the famous Pangani.
Pangani Girls' School?
Yes, that's where Moi started. Kamangu hapa. He started converting day schools for girls, separating girls and boys in day schools, putting up boarding schools for... And nobody has done anything after Moi. And the people vilify Moi. I say this country, I think we are not grateful to people. It's Moi who mainstreamed the girl child in this country more than all these NGOs that just make noise. Single-handedly. If you begin pointing at boarding schools for girls that Moi put up, You sit down and say Moi was a great man. Rest in peace, Daniel Toreti Arap Moi. He began with Pangani. I remember, I was a mature person. From Pangani, he moved. I remember the Kamango and many other schools.
More women in schools.
Yeah, and Kinatumutumu, he was there how many times? Until people begin saying he likes girls' schools because of 1, 2, 3. You know, the usual stupid rumors.
That's why there are plenty of girls' schools named after Moi.
Yeah, and even just Moi putting up girls' schools. That's what I support. I support doing everything to remove roadblocks for women in their career development, in politics, in schools. Everywhere, we must remove roadblocks.
Not this
and
kind
we've
of
come a long way.
thing.
Many people like you may not know. Even in America, women were not voting until just the other day.
The 1920s, yeah. I read.
No, the 20s, no. It's much later.
Universal suffrage?
I don't think women were voting.
Maybe I'll have to go and check.
Yeah, I'll check. Even opening a bank account here, a woman couldn't just open a bank account.
So the women were driving just the other day?
Yeah, even a passport, traveling out. So there's been a lot. Until recently, even getting a house allowance, if you are a single woman, you are not allowed to get a house allowance, if you are a married woman. It happened at the University of Nairobi. The late Kaveza Adagala, my friend and colleague at the University of Nairobi, we had invited Moi for tea. And she says, Bwana President, you know, we have to cheat that we are not married for us to get house allowance. We have to deny our husbands. Moi said, what? And from then onwards, women in the public service began getting house allowance if they were married. Before that, they were not getting house allowance. There are many things that were in the way of, including a man having to choose between a child who gets, say, during our days it was 36 points, best CPE. So your boy gets, say, 35. Your girl, 35 marks out of 36. Your boy gets 18. You take the boy to school. We grew up seeing those.
That was the normal.
Yeah, that was normal. I grew up seeing girls who are done better than boys, and the men, they will stay at home, be taken maybe to the nearest Arambe school, and the boy, when anatafutia boarding school, which he had not qualified for. So those things, we've dealt with them. And today, the better thing to do is to encourage our women to compete with men than give them affirmative action. I don't support it so much.
No, it doesn't work.
It has no purpose.
That's it from Prof. Today we're talking about the power behind the power. People like Rachel Ruto, Pastor Dorcas Gachagua, Wangari Maathai, and Martha Karua. All those people, women today who have swum upstream in a river filled with men and triumphed and set the example for the girls of tomorrow. And Prof is saying it's still a journey that we are traveling to make the world and the country a better, a more level field for women to compete. Until I see you next time, my name is Kimathi. This is Let's Talk Love Kenya.